I'm Charles Edel, Senior Advisor and Australia Chair here at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Pacific Policy Pulse. I'm thrilled to have with me today Lieutenant General Simon Stuart, the Australian Chief of Army. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Charles.
Can you tell us about what brought you over here this week?
I guess there's three things. One's partnership, the second is a sense of purpose, and the third one is progress. In terms of partnership, here with my US Army counterpart, General Randy George, and also in an AUKUS sense with our counterpart, General Sanders from the UK. And we're just building on that long-standing partnership where we have so many things in common. And one of those things that we have in common is a shared sense of purpose in maintaining security and stability in an increasingly volatile and contested and uncertain world is certainly focusing our attention. And one of the things that has focused our attention and that I was here for on the West Coast last week was Project Convergence, which is really originally a US-led, but now an AUKUS trilateral grouping and broader partners that come together to solve the operational challenges of today.
You give me a sense, just from an Australian perspective, what's the biggest challenge that you face in making sure that the Australian Army is prepared for the future challenges?
As a military professional, every leader of every service has to make calculus about balancing war's enduring human nature and its ever-changing character. And its changing character in the 21st century is heavily dominated by technology. So, and the pace of change is I think faster than it's ever been. So, are we adapting fast enough? And are we adapting in the right direction? Ultimately, to contribute to deterrence, in my case, in the Indo-Pacific.
Always curious to hear what folks are reading. What did you bring to read on the flight there and back?
Hey, great question. Look, I've just reread Robert Kaplan's Warrior Politics, which I always find a
great book.
Fantastic source of understanding and helps you to frame problems, frame the world we live in. I've just finished a great book by a US author, Kate Crawford, called Atlas of AI, which is just fascinating and I think a very thorough understanding of AI and concepts of algorithmic exceptionalism and the extractive nature of generating that technology. So I certainly recommend that. And I'm looking forward to reading Elliot Cohen's new book. I think it's called The Hollow Crown. I promised him I'd buy the hard copy. So maybe it's available here in the US.
Yeah, it's a terrific read. I think you'll really enjoy it. But look, thanks so much for taking the time to swing by and chat with us.
Great to be here. Thank you.